I'm gonna tell you what's happening. He'll go in a minute.
What is happening?
He watched it count down and instantly got nervous. Instantly.
We're finance guys in different spaces, but we live a life. So like I came up with this name, right? Cause like everybody got podcasts, but
I don't want to call this a podcast.
well that's why we're not gonna call it a podcast.
Okay.
We're just gonna call it the Bread Aisle.
The bread eye.
Yeah.
All right. So explain.
All right. So like how everybody has like their brand of bread that they buy.
Yeah.
But in order to get that brand of bread, you have to walk down the aisle.
Right.
Right. So when you walk down the bread aisle, it's something for everyone. And that's what this is. But we're also going to, triple entendre, don't even ask me how, right? What do we call money?
Money is bread.
All right. What does God give us every day when he gives us instructions?
We get our daily bread. Okay.
Welcome to the bread aisle.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Good. Welcome to the bread aisle. I'm JFL Lee.
I'm Finance King.
And we getting ready to give you this slice of life. All right. First thing we want to get out of the way is a disclaimer. Anything that's talked about here in the bread aisle.
Oh, I forgot we got to do
that. Yeah. Anything that's talked about here in the bread aisle is not investment advice. We advise you to hire professionals. In some instances, we are those professionals, but that conversation has to be had separate. Please do your own research. Do your own, what else? What else do they need to do?
Do your own due diligence.
Do your own due diligence.
Research.
Do your own research. This is not investment advice.
Past performance is not indicative of future success. And anything we talk about, results may vary.
All right, so
I'm Finance King. This is my introduction to the world. I was a chef for almost 20 years. My only career that I ever knew, and then for the past 2 years, I took a liking to finance and credit and stock markets and retirement and anything that I can do financially to make money, in the financial industry, I took a liking to. And so I got a job. I got a job in finance, and I love it. And this is my new life, Finance King. And as the episodes go on, you'll learn more and more about what I did, what I'm doing, successes, losses, and stuff like that.
Well, I'm JFL Lee. In some cultures, they call me the facilitator of funding. I pretty much focus on providing commercial and residential mortgages and business funding for those in need and those who qualify. The most important thing is qualifying. We're going to sit here at the bread aisle and kind of discuss a lot of the different ways you can break down funding, building wealth. It's, just break down life. And, life starts with freedom. And freedom starts with ownership of time. And ownership of time starts with having your bread together. So you need to come to the bread aisle. So
having your bread together starts with making correct decisions.
And getting the correct information.
And making correct decisions and getting the correct information starts with knowledge and discipline. So,
amen. So you just got in the finance game, right?
Yeah.
I've been in the lending game for about 5-6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So moving from the kitchen to the office in a completely different industry.
Completely.
Like everything's different.
Everything is different.
How has that transition been for you?
It's actually the total opposite. It's way rigid over here, even all the way down to the dress code, how people think about the culture in finance, the lack of our type of people, black people in finance, successful black people in finance. So everything is completely different. So I'm adjusting to everything. The only thing that I thought that translated was two things. I thought that helped me transfer and translated over to this industry was the small talk and hospitality and
water cooler talk or
even with clients, that rapport building, that the water cooler talk, all of that small engaging over there. It was in the culinary industry. It was like routine day to day. Everybody wanted to talk about it, and being a chef, that client event is the most important event. So when you're talking to that person, you got to engage with them like, even though it may be in December and it's March, I'm not thinking about that. But that client, to them, is the most important event of the year to them.
So how did the skill set that you built in the hospitality field, because you're classically trained hospitality, like you're not like I'm making honey lemon pepper wings
with the
henny. Like we're not doing that. Like you're classically trained. So how did that preparation and all your work that you put in to get to the point to where you were to say, all right, I'm done with this stuff?
Yeah. So there's a term in the culinary industry called mise en place, and that means everything in its place. And that's referring to before you even start cooking, you want to make sure you have everything in its place so that you don't have to run around like a chicken with the head cut off when it's time. And I take that and use it in this aspect in finance where, of course, you got to have your licenses and you got to have all of that structure in place. But then when it comes to a client, I'm so detailed from being a chef that when it comes to a client, I'm having a meeting before the meeting with myself. So I'm going over details, and they might have said something and just the small talk that we talk about, and they might have said I don't know, a vacation that they think about planning, or they might mention a homeboy, a home girl, a family member, and I'm writing that down. I'm saying, okay, you thought about getting this present for your mom, and I bring it up in conversation. Oh, hey, I know last time you thought about getting a present for your mom. Did you ever do that? What did you get? And it's like it's just building on that, and it makes a difference when it comes to the service that I'm providing, because it's not just a product now. It's more so I'm giving you a product through a relationship.
Yo, remember when you first was like, yo, I'm about to switch industries, and I was like, man, your conversations is going to be a lot. They're going to be a lot different. How has that changed?
They're all different. Like, it's totally different. Totally different. Before, in culinary, the small talk was like, yeah, man, like, come on, what do you want? But now, I enjoy the small talk because it opens. It's like the small talk is small talking about money
or bread.
Yeah. So I was like,
I know.
I'm here for it. So somebody could say, hey, let me run this by you. Shoot, what we talking about?
I get like 30 of those calls a day. Hey, Leon, I was trying to do blah blah blah. What do you think? I do it with a smile on my face, because 9 times out of 10 those people become clients.
Yeah.
And once you've been deemed, I hate the word expert, right? Like I absolutely hate it. Y'all are gonna learn from me that there are a couple things that I dislike in society, and one of them is the term expert, right? Because I just feel like you put the work in, but a wise man knows he knows nothing,
right?
And so I feel like the term expert implies that you're done learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm never done learning, so I don't like when people call me an expert.
Right.
I also dislike the word mentor, but that's just a personal. I've had bad experiences with mentors, and I just feel like until I find a good one, I'm good on.
I think I've been burnt by a few mentors, but I also have I call him the GOAT. Yeah, I call him the GOAT. So so he changed my perspective on mentors and mentorship.
But that's not really. I don't think y'all have a mentor-mentee relationship. Do you?
No. I mean, I understand it. I know.
It's more big brother.
It turned out to that. It turned out.
It started out mentor.
Yeah. And I think it's his personality is like he's from the hood. He's from around the way. So when I approached him, the first time I ever seen him, we was in the club, and
you just ran down. Like, yo, I know you are.
So Flo was like, yo, there go such and such, and I was like, oh, okay. I ain't go over. He was in a section. I ain't go over to a section.
Well, we know we have etiquette,
right? But after the club, the let out.
Oh well, that's
ran
the moment.
Down.
Yeah,
I'm talking ran down. He was across the street. We was at I think St. Eve's. And he wasn't across the first street. He was across the second street where the Nando's.
I know what you're talking about. So, you went all the way across?
I went all the way across, like sprinted across the street. And I was like, yo, I'm a big fan. I'm from Baltimore. This is what I do. I want to help any way I can. And he was like, yo, I got a brunch tomorrow. I might have let y'all know who he is now. He was like, yo,
well, he's a creator of brunch in DC, so
he was like, yo, I got a brunch tomorrow. What can we do? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, bet, I'm there. He grabbed a hat from his car, gave me a hat. Was like,
pulled
yo,
up?
Just wear this tomorrow. Pulled up, and then later that year, remember when we went to LA?
Yeah.
So we went to LA. He was in LA, and he had a client in LA. I think it was Wale.
Yeah.
And he was.
Oh, that's when he made that seafood.
Yeah.
That seafood lasagna.
So when
I'll never forget that.
When I got finished my gig in LA.
Oh, you went to check him?
Yeah. And I was like, yo, I'm about, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah,
and then I just started building, man. Just started any way that I could add value. Just started adding value. 2020, I volunteered the whole summer.
In the restaurant, right?
At his restaurant, yeah. Didn't ask for $1. Didn't ask for nothing.
Well, we're not gonna get into details, but he definitely repaid.
Yeah, so, you know, I caught some of the fallout, you know, and then from there on, it was like, I guess he took it as like, yo, he's not really somebody who put his hand out.
He's bringing.
Yeah. So, and that was, I think that's where the big brother, little brother relationship came.
Okay, I got you.
So,
yeah, no, I don't. I don't have any of those.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Hold on.
I mean, you could probably,
Nah.
Homie from Apex. The
He like, oh, Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's.
See, I mean, y'all haven't established that.
No,
but if he took the time, it was like, yo, I don't know, I'll file your cabinet or let's go to.
Nah, you know what? I don't even have to do that. The thing I'm grateful about that partnership with them is he lets me rock, but he's always a source of information. But I don't consider him a mentor because he makes a ton of money off of me. So.
Well,
okay. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
like if I bring a loan through that door,
it's his job.
It's his business.
Yeah.
It's his incentive to make sure that I have as much information as much. I'm talking about like just pure, like I want to see this young cat win. I want to see this guy win. I've never had that.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
I can understand that way.
Like, you know, the other homie at Apex, he's like kind of like that, but he got so much going on. He don't even really got time. And I don't, you know, you ain't never going to sun me. Like, that's just, you ain't, that just ain't going to be it. But nah, like, I just think that mentorship is important if you can get a good mentor, but it can like make or break you, man. I had a bad mentor.
Yeah. I wouldn't, a lot of people like pay.
Nah, but that's not mentorship, bro.
Yeah.
That's not real.
I wouldn't do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I've paid for courses. And I've done all of that.
How much money? We've taken all of them.
Yeah.
The
I've done all of
hymns,
that.
the Bridgers, the. You took Neo's joint, right?
No. I got him 500. I took him. I went to his convention. You know, so that's probably the closest I would say like a mentor. But he don't really know who I am, so it's not like I'm not gonna call him a mentor. It's just pay for knowledge.
Do you believe
in? Wrong with that.
Do you believe in the concept of like virtual mentors? So I would like, we're talking that like Hove's my mentor, like Robert Smith's my mentor. Like those are the guys.
Not really. I just think you listen to the gems and like, you know, Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
Do you study plays?
Yeah.
Like
all the time.
Other people's plays?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh,
okay. I studied. If we talking, you know, the inventor of brunch. I studied the brunch play.
Well,
I studied. You know, I studied all types of plays.
He really might be the inventor of party brunches. Like I'm really thinking about it, cause he was in Charlotte too.
Now he in Charlotte now.
No, I'm talking about during CIAA's.
Oh yeah. I ain't gonna put all this. You know,
but you get what I'm saying? Like he was there.
He down there.
Yeah.
Full time.
When you like study, do you study from the view of like the national guys, the international guys who make the really big plays, moving into the local guys closer to you, or do you do it the other way?
I study, well, it's different now. But,
well, you're in a different industry. That's why I'm asking you.
So for finance, I just study who's around, like who I can touch, because I don't know enough. So I need to ask questions. Like if I got questions, I need to be like, yo, I seen you do this. You talked about, you know, how you could take this money and it grows in 30 years, you know, compounds, sevens and stuff like that. How did you do it? Show me which way. Show me the way. So I need to ask questions. If it's a national thing, I might bring it up and say, look, I learned this. You know, is this something you ever heard of? But I'm always sticking with the local person in this aspect.
Do you track the top performers in your office? Like, I'm coming for you? 'Cause I
do. Not that I'm coming for you. It's not that mentality. But I'm tracking. I'm looking to see. Okay.
Is it more like, this is just possible?
Yeah. This is black dude in the office. You know, older
did
guy.
You tell me about the other day?
Nah, it's a different guy. Older guy. He don't really come to the office, but well, not, at least not when I'm there. But he got
ones that don't come to the office.
He's the ones, right? But he got this office.
He got his own joint.
It's closed. He got his own joint, and it's one of the biggest offices in there. But just you know, like over the years, you collect stuff in your office. There's like golf clubs,
just chilling,
trophies,
just chilling.
You know,
awards.
$1
million
awards that's not even open. Happy New Year champagne bottles. Like all of this stuff is in the office.
Wait till I'm gonna tell you this is one thing I learned, because you know I used to rock with Primerica. I'm not gonna badmouth Primerica on here. It's an excellent business model, but my brother works for a competitor, so we're not gonna talk about that. But when I was at Primerica, one of the things I learned is them service providers, like whose products we sell, they send you an obscene amount of gifts. It's like
you bringing them the money, huh?
Bro. But I learned it from, even in the mortgage space, like in the residential space. So I'm like I'm an independent broker. So I have relationships with like 6, 7 different regular lenders and banks. And then when we go on the commercial and construction side, I got like 100.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you do business with them, they understand like, yo, you're a broker. So our job is to just present you with the best that we can do.
Right.
But on the QM side, the guidelines are so.
And what's QM?
Oh, you're right. QM is qualified mortgage. That's a government mortgage. Okay. Conventional, FHA, Fannie Mae, VA, and USDA. So I like to call that group of loans income based. Right? So they're going to DTI you.
Right.
They're going to, what normally people use to buy their principal resident. W-2s, your income, plus your credit report. One thing they don't tell you about that style of mortgage is, to be real, your credit score actually doesn't matter.
It's what's on there?
It's what's on there. Right? So like, you can get an FHA with a 500 credit score. And you have to put 10% down. Yeah. But if you got the income and
is good enough, you've been good with managing 1 or 2 accounts on there.
Bro, you could have, you got bankruptcies on your joint. You can have.
So how do you walk me through how that would happen for somebody in that scenario?
Well, all right, let me back up. I don't recommend you should buy a house if you have a 580 credit score. Right. That's just me being real. Yeah. Right? Because you're not going to get an attractive interest rate at all.
So what if somebody was saying, like right now, what if somebody say, the market interest rate is already high, my credit is not good, I'm willing to pay the
10%?
I'm willing to pay the 10% down right now at a high interest rate already. It's fine. And then in a year, with interest rates drop, and plus I'm going to fix my credit score in a year.
Cross your fingers that they're going to drop.
Yeah, this is the hope. This is the hope. I've heard some people say this. So they say interest rate drop in a year, and within that time, I'll fix my credit, and then I can refinance.
Yes, in theory. In theory, you're absolutely correct. If you're wrong, it's going to go bad the other way, right? So, like, I do believe, like, this is the first thing people need to understand. 80, I'm throwing a number out there, but like 80, 90% of people don't pay off a 30-year mortgage.
Ever? They either sell it or
they
die?
Sell it, refinance it, or
die.
So, like, for real, like, especially in our generation is too fluid. And we're the new crop of that 30-year mortgage. Yeah. So, the generation before us, they're done doing 30-year mortgages. So if they do a 30-year mortgage, just to keep the monthly payment low until they die.
Facts.
Right? Facts. But for us, you just bought a house. You bought a house. you have no intentions
I don't
on
plan
being in that house
staying
for 30 years.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
if you do leave and keep it, somebody else gonna be paying that.
Right.
So
That's a fact.
So in most cases you gotta look at the thing about buying a home, and we had this conversation off air, but it's not an investment. The only part of it that's an investment is the equity. And then the equity is monopoly money. If you don't do nothing with the equity, it's just going to fluctuate. It'll look good on your balance sheet when you track your net worth, but you paying for that every month. And to be real, your monthly mortgage payment, maybe 20% of it is going towards the principal. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, you paying taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, and interest
Before you
even get to your principal.
Right.
So, the thing about QM mortgages or those types of mortgages is they're not. People be like, "Oh, they're a loan against your house." They're not. It's a loan against your income. Yeah. But the house is the collateral. Right. So the bank goes, "All right, how much money you make a month before the government takes your money? All right, you make $7,500. All right, we'll give you, if it's a conventional, it's like 47%, really it's like 45, most lenders.
Of your monthly income?
Of your monthly income.
Okay.
And then...
So we're talking about like $3,000.
$3,000. That's your DTI. That means credit cards, your car payment, student loans, any personal loans, any of those types of debts.
Yeah.
And your mortgage cannot be over 46%, 45%. You get what I'm saying? So when you got interest rates,
it's pushing the cap.
You pushing with your affordability.
Right.
But 2 years ago, when interest rates was 2.5%, the majority of your income could be used for how much you borrow. So it's game.
So, all right. So I bought a house, and I think, I was in I would say I was in a pretty good situation when relative to what the market is doing now. Interest rates
they're very different.
Pushing 8%. So
it depends on how you want to structure it. I tell you that all the time. Like the trick with these mortgages is to understand what you're paying for.
Yeah. Right.
Remember, so like, people hear the term points and go, "Oh, I don't want to pay any points."
But
you might.
I mean, look, I talked to Moan. before.
He paid points, didn't he?
But he was like, "Yeah, I paid the point. I paid the interest rate down." And I know you was telling me about that before, and so I asked him like, what's his experience with paying the points down? And he was like, "I don't miss it. You're
not gonna miss that.
Like it's making up on the money that I don't have to pay now, so I get a better monthly balance anyway." And then, with my experience, when you was like, how much you want to pay a month, and when I told you, and you said, okay, so this is how much it's going to cost to pay the points down.
It was simple, right? You was like, yo, you know what? I'm saving this much. Let me just pay this.
I got my number. I got what I'm comfortable with paying per month. And on top of that, if in the event where I ever want to contribute more, I could just...
You're not killing yourself to do it.
Yeah, I could just pay my monthly mortgage and then say, all right, I want an additional, I'm going to pay additional $500 this month. And the bank will automatically put that towards the principal.
Well, that's a trick to pay down your mortgage. If you make I think it's something like if you make 5 extra payments a month, you'll knock 3 or 4 years off, 5 years off.
I know if you pay one mortgage balance,
one straight to the balance payment.
If you make it's 12 months. If you make 13 payments and that 13th payment goes straight to the mortgage, you'll knock 7 years off.
Yo, but you know what's interesting about that though? Because it goes back to my theory of nobody ever pays a 30-year mortgage off. Right. So I'd be like, dang, but opportunity cost, right? So what could I do? Like I could pay that extra $500 with the interest off something. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So we talk about interest all the time. Interest is like the hot button right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing I think people misconstrue about interest is you can make interest on your money too.
Okay. So all right, if we're looking at it this way, because now this is where I come in. This is my wheelhouse.
Exactly.
All right. So if we're looking at it this way, let's just throw out round numbers. All right. Let's just say, for example, my mortgage is $5,000.
Oof.
All right. It's not.
That's a chunky mortgage.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm either living in a mansion or
$5,000
I'm financially
that's
messed up.
That's
right?
a chunky mortgage. I ain't gonna lie.
All right. Let's.
No, we can do 5,000.
All right. I just wanted to keep it around. So let's do 5.
Okay.
Okay. So my theory: make the 13th payment, put it in, pay down 7 years. Okay. Your theory: if I don't do that, I take that $5,000 and I figure out a way to make 10% on the $5,000.
$500.
I take the $5,000. I keep it where it's at. I pull out the 10%, 500.
Make that extra payment. Straight to the principal.
Right. And now I can leave that $5,000 wherever it's at every year.
For it to do it all over again.
And don't let it gain more than 10%.
Oh, you mean like 12?
Like 12. So now it's gaining.
Oh my God.
The 2% is compounding over the course of the 30 years.
And you only pull out 10%?
And I'm only pulling out the 10.
And then that principal payment is tax deductible.
Oh, see, I ain't know about that. Didn't know about that.
Like,
so now we're talking,
bro,
instead of paying taxes on the earned income, I'm getting the tax deduction.
because you paid it towards your house.
I paid it towards my house.
Yo, bro,
come on.
That's a quick slice of life for y'all, real quick.
That's their daily bread.
Oh. Yo, did you hear about Kamala? Your Kamala announcement?
Yeah, you was telling me about that, and I seen the video.
Man, listen.
I seen the video. And she was saying about 80% of the people still got their mortgages too high.
Let's do some math. We could do some simple math, right? Today, right, because it doesn't kick in until the 20th, right? Today, mortgage insurance is issued at a rate on the front end, at the table, you're at 1.75%, right? If you do FHA. So that's 3.5 down plus the 1.75%, right? That doesn't go anywhere but to HUD. It's if you look on your settlement sheet when you buy your house or your Alta or whatever state you're in, you'll see your upfront mortgage insurance to HUD, right? So HUD gets that money. Then every month they hit you for 0.085. It's almost a 1% of your loan amount.
Yeah.
Tacked on, which if you include your interest, you're adding that on. You're adding 0.85 onto your interest because that goes towards nothing that has to do with your house.
Right.
Now, from the lender perspective, the person cutting the check, business is business.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Right. So essentially what they're doing is HUD is saying, lenders, you write this money out. We'll insure it. Should anyone default on it,
we got it.
You'll get your money.
Right.
Right? But if you give that kind of, you're in the insurance business, if you give that kind of guarantee, you got to have some premium
coming
in in order to, but it really almost makes the FHA mortgage no different than the conventional mortgage.
And this is why I think it's such a big business, right? On the insurance side, not even insuring whatever the product, the property, the person, whatever, but to gain all the premiums.
Oh,
you gaining all the premiums in the world. So let's just say 100 million people
have an FHA mortgage.
Have an FHA for
300. Let's just say 300.
300. So we talking they getting
0.85. We'll do some math. I'll do some math for you.
No, I want to bring in the whole balance, what the insurance company is getting. So you said 300 people times 100 million. That's what?
Hold on.
30 billion.
0.085. 300,000. 300,000 times 0.85%. That's what you're paying a year.
So that's what you're paying a year. So you're paying $2,500 a year per person, times 100 million.
Yeah.
Times 100 million.
Oh, I thought you was just saying it.
So you getting they bringing in $2.5 trillion.
But imagine if people default.
But how many people defaulting? It's not
today.
Maybe only 1, 2,
Today,
3%.
there's not gonna be many defaults just because we don't write bad mortgages.
So they're taking in $2.5 trillion, but only paying out maybe 50 million
which is why they can lower it 40%. And not even feel it. This is also why I believe they can cancel student debt.
Did you
and
know,
not even feel it?
Speaking of insurance, did you know 97% of term insurance don't pay out? Don't pay out.
Yeah, because people outlive it.
Bro, this is.
But do you believe in buy term invest the difference?
Yeah, I'm starting to understand that.
I like the strategy.
That strategy.
I like the whole life strategy too, though.
I wouldn't even buy a term. I have term, and
I have term too.
I just switched to a convertible term, so
it converts to whole life.
Yeah, I'm gonna convert it to whole life. Yeah,
whole life is just expensive though.
It is, and not everybody can afford
it's expensive as hell.
So when you think about buy term invest the difference, that's fine. But then you're still talking about somebody paying that cost that they can't afford.
Would you? All right, I don't know if you could talk about this. Would you? So there's two types of insurance companies, right? So
yeah,
you prefer the mutuals to the corporates,
yeah,
because your cash value grows based on the dividend, right?
Yeah. So I'll explain it for everybody. So there's two types of insurance companies. You have a mutual fund company or an insurance company that invests in mutual funds, and then you have an insurance company that is publicly traded on the stock market and has stocks. So the process of how they both do business is the same exact. What happens is it's all about how the money is distributed.
Mm-hmm.
So with a mutual fund, all the money that's given in can be dispersed straight to the policyholders because they are part of the fund. If you have a publicly traded stock company,
it goes to the shareholders.
The shareholders of the stock have to get paid first, and then the members that hold the policy
get a dividend
off of that. So you left with the chump change. So mutual funds oftentimes offer a bigger interest rate on your or a bigger return on your money.
But whole life is a fixed rate though. So when you open a policy, you're like, yo, this money's gonna grow at 3%.
Yeah,
4%.
but yes, this is true. And mutual fund companies can offer a larger fixed rate than the stock.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Like Northwestern or
right.
Or it's Liberty.
Yeah, so there's the big three: Mass, Northwestern, and I believe Liberty are the big three.
Northwestern's a great company.
No, I'm sorry, not Liberty. Guardian.
Mass Mutual.
Mass.
Big dog.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Big dog. Mass Mutual is a
so that's the warehouse or the broker that we go through.
Mass Mutual.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your warehouse.
Yeah.
Yo, there's like no difference in finance terms, right? So like Rocket is my warehouse, one of my warehouse lenders.
Right.
Yeah.
No difference.
There's literally no difference.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they had Guardian. So a lot of people that were with Guardian are now with Mass. And I've talked to a few and they're like, I asked them, how do you left your book of business at Guardian because you have to.
Well, all of them are going to keep your book of business, right?
Yeah, so you left your book of business as an agent. But then a lot of them, I talked to one guy. He left his book of business as an agent, but then got his broker. He became a broker with Guardian.
A producer? Is that what it's called?
No. He's a producer with Mass now because he stayed with the company.
Oh.
So when the company switched warehouses, they went from Guardian
to Mass.
Okay. So he was an agent with Guardian.
He became a broker with Mass.
He became an agent with Mass and became a broker with Guardian.
He's printing money. We've been talking about doing this and sitting down
for a long time.
Yeah, for a while, right? We're finance guys in different spaces, but we live a life.
Yeah.
So like I came up with this name, right? Because everybody got podcasts, but
I don't want to call this podcast.
Well, that's why we're not gonna call it a podcast.
Okay.
We're just gonna call it the Bread Aisle.
The Bread Aisle.
Yeah.
The Bread Aisle. All right, so explain.
All right, so how everybody has their brand of bread that they buy?
Yeah.
But in order to get that brand of bread, you have to walk down the aisle.
Right.
Right? So you walk down the bread aisle, it's something for everyone. And that's what this is. But we're also going to, triple entendre, don't even ask me how, right?
Okay.
So what do we call money?
Money's bread.
All right. What does God give us every day when He gives us instructions?
We get our daily bread. Okay.
Welcome to the bread house.
Okay. All right. I like
You
it.
get what I'm saying? So we just gonna break down this thing called life, man. We're gonna
How to talk about how to maneuver through
how to
life
maneuver through this thing
in
and
a
just
room full of vultures.
yo, you feel me? Like, cause really, like, think about it, bro.
It's shady. It needs to be
Nah,
taken
it needs
over.
to be taken over, all of them, right? I be looking at the mortgage industry like, these guys are playing. They're playing Monopoly with taxpayer dollars. I broke it down to you, right? How everything, our entire economy is based on 30-year mortgage.
Yeah.
So, if you can originate more mortgages by lowering the
So you all right? So let's get back into it then, real quick. Our entire economy is broken down into 30-year mortgages. We kind of
give or take, but
but and there's more regulations now. We've seen what happened in 08.
This is a perfect example.
That's a perfect example. So now I've heard rumblings that this is a similar setup
No,
to what happened in 08.
no. If there is a crash, it's gonna come in your house. They gonna come in my house.
Well, we dropped 30% already.
Yeah, so
and when I say we, I mean the stock market.
It's gonna come on your side. It ain't gonna come. We don't write bad mortgages, bro. Or I'll tell you where you'll really see a hit.
Okay.
I have another theory. This is a theory. I have a theory they get ready to send everybody back to work. I think they're gonna dead that remote work stuff. You want me to explain why?
Sure.
All right.
I got another theory, but
All right. So look, residential mortgages, a 30-year mortgage, normally it's the foundation of the economy, right?
Yeah.
But there's another layer over it, and that's the commercial, like office building mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
That money comes from insurance companies, hedge funds, and pension funds.
All right.
Right? So that's normally the capital source.
Yeah.
As it trickles down to people like me who can lend it out, right? Who you think puts the money in these politicians' pockets?
All those big companies.
Right? So if y'all could do y'all Googles, there's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 multi-billion-dollar office building owners, REITs, and private equity funds that have defaulted on their mortgages
because nobody's
at work.
Yeah.
These companies are leaving. What if I have a company that is, let's say 60% of my staff is work from home?
Right.
Why do I need a high-rise office?
So like Google, they built the business.
Amazon. Did you see Amazon halted their production of the office building they're building in Virginia?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
I just read about that yesterday.
Yeah. So Google built this massive office campus, and then
now it's empty.
and after COVID, they told everybody to stay home, and now they're working from home.
Now it's empty. Now you got this big piece of real estate.
Yeah. So it's another, and I'm gonna get to my theory, but another example of that is the companies like Regis and all of the WeWork, all of these, workspace.
WeWork is a different one.
But they coming back now.
You believe in it?
It's there. It's the proof. They back.
They had a lot of bad press.
Yeah, but
they're like a level below Enron.
They're not that bad. They still.
They had a good model.
Still a company. Enron.
Yeah.
Enron was out here also.
Enron
Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. I think Bernie Madoff is a deep black eye.
Yo, we was watching.
Did you watch the movie Wizard of Life?
No, we didn't watch that. We was watching.
You should watch that.
We was watching a show called Selling Hamptons, right? And
I love that show.
So this lady, Bianca, she from New York, and she went up to the Hamptons to try to get into the real estate. And there was a scene where she was like, it's really hard for me to break in. I got really good business in New York, but I'm trying to bring it out here. But it's really hard.
Is her last name Madoff?
No, her last name not Madoff, but her last name, I forgot what her last name is. But the producer showed the clip, and she was like, yeah, my father just went to jail for investment fraud. But, bro, it wasn't investment fraud. When they showed the headline, it said my man was taking like a $60 million Ponzi scheme.
Yo, the Bernie Madoff story is one of the most fascinating stories I've ever read in my life, bro.
Yo, he's a genius.
genius.
He's a genius.
He was the head of the SEC, running a Ponzi scheme.
He is a genius.
He wrote all the laws for investor fraud.
He's nice.
Amen.
He is nice.
Amen.
If anybody should learn on
No,
what not to do.
No, yeah, what not to do? No.
Follow Bernie Madoff.
Yo, but I just think that, I don't think that they're going to allow people to just sit in a crib and...
All right, so check my theory. Check my theory on why I think the real estate market might take a hit. And
what's a hit? Because for the last 3 years, we've been at the most absurd record levels.
Okay.
So if I'm up 50...
20%.
I'll take it.
All right.
If that's a 20% correction on
up 50%.
On up 50, I'll take that.
So what do you talk about? 80% drawdowns? Like you want
No.
to negative returns?
No, I don't think. Listen, I think y'all are screwed. I think crypto was the first.
Oh, crypto is crumbling.
I think crypto was the first. That crumble won't last though.
You think they're gonna get bought out?
No, I think that they're gonna regulate it, and then the institutions are gonna.
But you gotta save it. You gotta save.
Well, it's perception.
I mean, if
too.
you're going down FTX, if you're going down like all of these,
Coinbase is still
Coinbase is
barely.
That's it.
Barely.
You know, Coinbase IPO for $300. You know, it's selling at like.
Is that 60, 70?
Less than that. It's like $30 now.
That's why I don't do the markets. This is a personal thing, everyone. The stock market is a very great way to create wealth. I personally do not do it.
Bruh.
I do long-term holds like mutual funds and stuff. Don't take that. Do your own advice. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence.
So check it. So the biggest generation to ever come out of America was the baby boomers.
Yeah, but we're next.
I know. Just listen.
Okay, sorry. You know I'm sensitive about real estate.
The baby boomers.
Okay.
The baby boomers, they're at the point now where they're moving out of their houses. They're downsizing, right? China. Look at your face.
I'm curious.
Look at your face.
I'm curious. You think they're gonna come in and buy everything?
They trying. They're not producing people. You know, they had the two child
thing
for a long time.
They got like 1.5 billion people.
Yeah, but they lift that, and the people aren't getting back to making babies. So now more people are dying than are being born. Japan, way more people are dying than are being born.
Really?
Right? Now, couple this with, so this is the world economics. Couple this with the baby boomers who are going away, downsizing, moving, transitioning in life and dying. Yeah. So millennials aren't looking to buy houses because you already know. Well, I'm not going to say that we're not looking like everybody. The vast majority aren't looking to buy houses because, we like to
We're
move.
fluid. We're a fluid generation.
Couple that with stock market recession, where now a lot of these companies are building apartment buildings.
I really taught you a lot about this.
I put the pieces together over the years. So if we got increase in supply, but no increase in demand, it got to drive the stock market. It got to drive the real estate market down.
All right, that's why I'm push back.
Okay.
So part of what's happening today is a result of these people printing
trillions of dollars, for
right?
No reason.
So they printed trillions of dollars, and then they gave debt out for basically free.
Yeah.
Right. So all that money,
it's coming back.
In the black community, it went to Casa and 42 and Tulum, right? It was nasty.
This was the free.
Bro, it was nasty.
Is like, it was you want to make money?
It was free money. Yeah, this was a opportunity for our community. We missed it. Some of us.
Them peas.
Yeah. Oh my.
Ooh,
the triple. Man, I didn't get one, but so that created the inflation issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even during COVID, there was no inventory. Mm-hmm. Like I'm talking about houses there was like less than a month of supply.
Yeah.
The national average is normally about 3 to 4 months supply.
Right.
So we don't have no supply.
Where are we at now?
a little over a month, even in its current.
Okay.
Because look, if you had a 30-year mortgage, right? And let's say you're on year 7, and you're like, man, it's time to sell my house. I want to cash out, property value's up. Normally, you would sell and then buy another house.
Right.
But interest rates were at 2%, 2.5%, 3%.
So now interest rates so high.
It wasn't, at the time, it wasn't about interest rates. It was, if I sell my house, where I'm going to go, because ain't no houses available.
Right. You're talking about in 2020.
In 2020,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
instead, what people were doing is getting new 30 years. So the market never got to reset.
And you don't think a reset coming?
I think the reset is happening right now. And I think that we're going to see 20 on a 50. Which is fine on the grand scheme.
On the grand scheme, it's not fine for somebody like, I'm not gonna say like me, because I probably bought my house up.
Bro, you bought your house at the best time.
Yeah, so
you bought in phase 1 of a new construction when interest rates were low.
Yeah, so not me, but let's take somebody who bought a house that was already built this year or end of last year, and they take a 20% hit on.
But here's the thing.
They weren't up 50%.
No, they weren't.
They actually paid. They actually bought at the top.
You're right. But this is why I say we won't see a crash, because all they have to do
is refinance.
No, just pay your monthly mortgage. It's a fixed payment. You got a payment. That's why I said property value.
Say it's fixed.
No, it is fixed. The only thing that'll raise on your mortgage payment is the taxes. And the only way taxes raise is if property value raises. Now, if property value raises, you're in a different...
But property value is going to raise because as the interest rate is higher, people not going to move. They're going to renovate their house.
Yeah, but with interest rates going higher, you have less buyers in the marketplace. So...
Which makes...
No, listen. So demand comes down while the supply is still low.
Yeah,
we're in stagflation.
But demand not coming down.
No, people are still buying, surprisingly.
And
that's crazy.
So people going to still buy. Interest rates are getting higher.
But they're going to come down.
And then...
The interest rates are not going to stay at 7%. No chance.
They'll probably come down second half of the year 2024.
Yeah, and they'll probably come down by a lot to like... Don't quote me, please. I don't want anyone chopping this up and being like, well, you said I don't make the interest rates. But I think they'll come down to probably around 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
I think the days of
2 is done.
I will never see 2 again. Yeah. Ever.
I think 4.5 and 5 is
on a good year we'll see 3.8, 3.5, because that's how it was before COVID.
Yeah.
So
I like the 4-5 area.
But that makes a house affordable for a lot of people. 7 is
I'm not arguing that.
7 is ridiculous. So during COVID I was giving people hard money loans at 7%. like
I just think I don't know. I think the writing's on the wall. No, I'm not gonna say that because that means I think y'all are screwed. I think y'all are gonna see like 60%. Well, I think we're screwed because Jerome Powell, the Fed, the chair,
that's my guy.
Yeah, but he's fighting the president and legislation.
Like
they're going. You no offense, but you lower the mortgage rate 40%, and my man is trying to beat inflation. What are you doing?
What's inflation at today? 7?
Inflation.
Did he drop it?
I think it came in at 6. No,
6.5.
January went back up to like 7.2.
See what I'm saying? And spending's not down.
So you taking people that's getting money and you saying you could buy a house for 40% less on your insurance? Why wouldn't somebody say, all right, I'm gonna buy? Meanwhile, Jerome Powell going over here like, bro, I'm trying to get them to stop buying.
But he can't do that.
He can.
Well, no, he can, but
I'm gonna raise interest rates so high until these corporations start laying off people.
Bro, there's gonna be a run on the banks if that happens.
It's happening. Come on, dude. Can I go down? I think the only company who hasn't laid anybody off is Apple.
Yeah, but they also didn't do a hiring bump.
But they're saying that because...
Well, they don't need to.
They don't need to, but that's their way of saying, okay, hold on.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like, all right, let's say, like, I'll tell you a story. I did a client of mine's did a refi right at the beginning of COVID, right? So at the beginning of the year, it was like January. he got his house appraised. It appraised at like 175, right?
Right.
It wasn't enough for him to refi. It just the deal didn't work out. So I was like, yo, let's wait a little bit. See, then COVID hits.
Mm-hmm.
So then lending gets shut down. Then they start lending back up, and we reappraise his house. It appraised at 260.
Yeah, let's do it.
No. I told him, don't take that money. Take half.
Okay.
He's like, why? I said, that ain't going. That's not a sustainable. You don't never see a $70,000, $80,000 property value jump.
Right.
In less than a year.
But okay, so let's go back to what you talk about on that $5,000 opportunity cost. Let's say he do take all of that.
All right, let's say he put it in the market. He would be down bad.
No, he wouldn't. He got to be smart with it.
Hakeem, he would be down
What
terribly.
What year is this?
What year was COVID?
2020.
Yeah, COVID year.
He would be up. Crazy work. Like
Nah,
Shady said.
man, I don't
he would
know.
Be up.
Bro,
I'm gonna tell you why.
If he held until today,
2020 ran crazy.
Hold
2021
on.
ran crazy.
What were the stocks?
2022
what were
was the dip.
What was the stocks that went crazy 2020, 2021? They were all tech stocks.
Every stock went
No,
crazy.
all tech
2020.
and pharmaceutical, right? Fair?
Defensive stocks, cybersecurity stocks.
Those stocks are...
What you talking? The Dow went crazy. Every stock went crazy.
We in 2023?
We in 2023.
We in 2022 too. We were talking 2022.
2022, it went down.
So 2021, 2020
yeah,
were the runs. The historical, ridiculous, inflated runs because so many people would...
Yo, I'm not giving advice. What if my man took 30 grand, put it in the market, rolled it up to the top, took it out, and now what?
Less than a year. So if we're going to talk to our people.
Oh, so
we're going to talk to our people.
We're going to play this game. Okay, I'm gonna keep going then. Put it in a 1035. Took it, put it in a 1035. Use that extra bread and said, all right, Lee, I got another 30. Let's buy another house.
Or he could have not taken all that money, got his bread that he invested in the property, got it out, like he took my advice, took that money, because he has tenants, debt service is covered.
Okay, so yeah, I know all this.
Yes, debt service is covered, took that money and bought a house next door to his rental. And we did it all again. Bro, he's got the best play ever. He just flipped. Burr is buy, renovate, refinance, buy, rent, or buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. He does that. He's on like his fifth house on the same street. He buys them from the city, straight from Baltimore.
Oh, so he roams. These roams.
Bro, he buys these joints for like 10 grand, 20 grand. And puts his...
So in that case, he don't need to do what I'm saying.
That's what I was trying to tell him. Like, yo, they appraised, I think the first one appraised at like 240, right? And I was like, I just don't feel.
But even if he would have took, let's say...
Look, a year later, last year, I did another one of his joints. It appraised at 215.
So
next door, same street.
Yeah.
$15,000 loss in value in a year.
But he not paying that. It's a
no, we're not. We're talking about, that's a different conversation. What I'm saying is that you got to be strategic in how you use debt.
This is true. I'm never, ever on the side of with some of these people on social media. Watch who you talking to. Some of these people or listening from. Watch who you listening from.
God.
Some of these people on social media is talking about taking the debt
and get more debt,
and then use the cash, taking the debt, turn it into cash, use the cash to put down on a larger piece of debt. What?
That's only for live men.
Ever.
I ain't gonna say never, because there are scenarios when
you got unless you got
you
gotta be secure like you gotta have a shoebox under the mattress.
Well, it's not even just that. That is a risky strategy.
Because even if the play worked, but it take longer than what you expected, you in the hole, double top.
Well, if you can cover the debt service, you're not.
So you got the shoebox under the mattress.
But that's the thing. Like, the thing that people don't, again, these guys don't tell you this. Like, they talk about credit card stacking. When we first got into this, like, because me and you kind of started this
same time.
You went to finance, stock market route. I went real estate lending, whatever, right? So, but like these guys will tell you like, oh, get the, stack the credit cards, right? And that's cute, right? That's a cute strategy.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing sustainable about it at all. And you can only get 1 or 2 plays off of that because it's a teaser rate.
Yeah.
That zero interest, like I said, is cute, but I go get 100,000 in debt. How many? All right, so I liquidated. First of all, at minimum, 3% loss on the liquidation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Off top.
Off top. Then
hold on. For people who don't, when you liquidate a credit card, it's a fee. So usually that fee is somewhere like
3%.
3%. It can go higher depending on the company.
Depending
but
on the
that's
company.
the loss that you're taking right there.
So,
off top.
Off top. But your repayment is the full price, right? So
price.
Now I have to add the 3% on to whatever I invest in.
Right. So you already down 3%.
You're already down 3%. Then how many plays in your mind do you think you can really put
in a year?
In a year, make double your money back, or 50%?
1.5. 1.5.
Maybe do an option play. Pray to God.
I thought you were talking about pure real estate.
Oh, no. One. You can flip a house.
If I was doing an option play, I would have to be like Aristotle.
Yeah, like
Ian Dunlap. Like I would have to know.
No, yeah, like maybe you could do an option play. You could do a real estate play, but look. All right, I get 100,000. I buy a house for 10, fix it up for 50, right? I'm in the whole thing for 60,000. I use 60,000. It took me 3 months to do it.
Right.
First of all, I have to service that $60,000 debt, but it's interest free.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to pray to God that it appraises. Mm-hmm. And then what a lot of people don't talk about is when you carry a balance on these credit cards, they report that shit.
Yeah, you messing up your score.
Like nobody talks about that.
Like
business cards, when you carry a balance on them, it's reported.
And if you're stacking, your score probably drop 100 points.
Oh, easily.
Unless you want to talk about
no. No.
But even that is like it's a chance.
King,
it's almost scammy.
Even if you have a strictly business Amex charge card, if you carry a balance,
it's going down.
It's going to report.
It's going down
on your personal credit.
If I'll say this, if you are in a position where you can stack credit cards,
you probably shouldn't be.
You're better off
just getting a straight real estate
to
loan.
a bank and getting a line of credit or a real estate loan or
just
something like that. And just do it that way.
And I'm very particular about what debt I promote these days because debt is it's like fire, bro. Like if you're not careful, you can cook your food with it,
but if the wind blows,
it could get ugly really fast. Like you could burn your whole house down if you're not careful with that.
Right.
Because it's like it takes one domino, one thing not to go the way you are imagining it going. And I just hate fairy tale sellers, yo. Like those guys, ambulance chasers and people who capitalize on black trauma. That stuff drives me crazy. Black or white, I don't care who they are. That stuff drives me crazy. But the dream sellers who don't really give you the back end, the risk that's involved.
Yeah.
I think that you should be careful on who you get this information from. That's why I don't like the word expert.
Mm-hmm. I think those type of people, they're so prevalent now.
Oh,
there's a lot of them, right? But they make it seem like
they make it seem easy.
The real interest rate that what you can get on a return on your money, not interest rate, what the return
your ROI.
rate. Yeah. So they make that seem like 10% in a year is not good, or 5% in a year, 8% in a year is not good.
I don't get this. The whole we talk to wealthy people on a daily basis, right? If I tell a wealthy person I have an opportunity that I'll get you 10% on your money, he's gonna be like, word?
Take that 10 times out of 10.
Take that 10 times out of 10 because if he took his money and parked it in S&P.
Right. He get 10%.
He don't got to talk to nobody. He don't got to deal with no nothing. He can get 6 to 8, maybe on a good year 12. Right?
Right.
So us as service providers have to understand that and go, but these cats don't be service providers.
They Ramses.
I see you through that.
Like Dave Ramsey's out there and they say
that is bad.
Or use that to flip something. And
I heard Robert Kiyosaki say this. Wealthy people don't listen to Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. Nah, they don't. Like wealthy people love that. Because they understand there's a difference between good debt and bad debt.
Do you believe the more you can borrow, the richer you are?
It makes sense.
I heard Grant say this.
The more you can borrow, I'm not going to say
but
the richer you are. I'll say the better your situation is.
I think that your earning potential is greatly represented by how much you can borrow. Yeah.
So how much you can borrow probably looks back on your payment history first, and then whatever you got to put up as collateral.
In most instances.
Yeah.
But there are instances, at least in the real estate industry, where it's not really based on you, the person. So we talked about income based.
Mm-hmm.
There's another style of lending that's asset based.
Right.
Where they're strictly looking at the property.
And the end value.
Or this earning potential, right? Yeah. So there's a loan program for people who have rental portfolios called DSCR. And that's called debt service coverage ratio. And most companies want to be around like 1.15 of that ratio. Between 1.15, my personal thing is 1.3. If you're at 1.3 on your DSCR, you're making good money. Essentially, what that is if you have a $200,000 or if you have a $2,000 a month mortgage, right? Or I'll do easy numbers. If you have $1,000 a month mortgage, right? Your lease on that property has to at least be $1,300.
Yeah, 30%.
So you're making a 30% profit on your money every month, or on the bank's money, basically. So if you have $1,300, that's why you gotta look at your rental market and you go, okay, well, what can I rent this out for? But what is my debt service gonna be?
Right.
So once you figure that out, it's like, all right, well, like the property I just did.
So you're saying that a lot of people, well, not so you're saying. So I would guess that a lot of people probably get in this game and they see the DSCR, but don't factor in the debt service.
Yeah, people
and wonder why it don't work.
Yeah, nobody we talked about this off air. Like, I don't want to come down hard on people, but it'd be frustrating stuff like this because it's a bunch of misinformation out there.
Right.
Right. So there's very few people giving real applicable information that people can use to really build wealth. Right.
Like, I'm gonna just throw one out there, the fact that you can use your 401k to build wealth and not pay taxes on it.
And not pay freaking taxes on it.
Nobody talks about that.
No one talks about
and
you can buy real estate in that self-directed IRA. No one talks about that.
Nobody talks about that. Or the fact that you could be a 9-to-5 millionaire and...
Bro, 9-to-5 millionaires are the best because they literally have an investor every month for whatever they want to do.
Right.
And I'm a full-time, 100% entrepreneur,
right,
self-employed, and I'm saying 9-to-5 people are in the best position because they have consistent income, consistent cash flow. The problem is that
the misinformation.
Bro.
Yeah.
Because
and most of the time, we 30s. I mean, we 30, 34. All right,
we don't even get the information until we're 30.
Yeah, let's take a 35-year-old who graduated college with a good job, started at, I don't know, 60, 80, and now up to making 6 figures or whatever, but they've been with the same job for the last 10 years.
I bet they don't know who the custodian of their 401k is.
I bet they don't.
And I bet they don't
know how much is in there.
I bet they don't know what they're investing in.
Yeah, and I bet they don't know or that. But what they can find out is how much is in there. Okay, I want to move it over here, and I can do that tax free.
There are certain
aspects.
It's a little more complicated
right,
than that.
But it can happen.
Yes, it can happen.
It can happen.
Oh, this is another one of my favorite ones. How many people leave a company
and leave their
leave
401k.
their 401k there.
You know, there's a company right now, and that's it's private, but it's a company right now that does something like that. If you put in your information,
They'll find it.
They'll find your
I'm pretty sure I got some 401k.
all your 401ks. They'll bring it to you and they'll put it in there.
Will they roll it? They'll roll it into an IRA
into their account. Ooh. And I know they making so much money because they probably
are they custodian?
Whatever, I don't think so, but whatever bank they using, probably giving them crazy commission.
Bro, just think about that. You could go get the non-active money and just put it in
and just come on. And now check this. So even if you knew, okay, I switched jobs twice. I got my current 401k is I got 50,000 in it, right? Mm. You don't know what's in the other. You don't even remember the other 401ks. You sign up for the service, and you find out that them other 401ks combined, you might got another 25,000.
This is not investment advice.
Not at all. Make sure you find out how many 401ks you got.
That's first and
foremost.
This is not investment advice. But what you could potentially do with that type of docile money in either the stock market or
either situation.
Or shouts out to my bro Neil Watts. I'm gonna give him a free plug. This is my guy. He does gold. They do the same thing.
Yeah.
So they take the docile money.
But he buys actual gold?
Nah, it's you can't. No, it's gold. It's a certificate. And then you get the hard ownership, but you have to house it somewhere. Yeah. Because you can't technically keep gold in your crib. That's supposed to be illegal. Yeah. But he was, when the market goes down, gold goes up. Gold goes up. If you're in a recession, so
this whole last half of the second last
gold was going crazy.
Gold has been going crazy. The value of gold has been going up.
So, it's like, man,
it's so many
ways
that people don't talk about. That our people don't talk about. Yeah. Don't know. Because we don't get exposed to it.
And then when we do, it's somebody like, yo, it's 5,000. Now, don't get me wrong. I charge for one-on-one coaching.
But I would say that we did that, so hopefully that y'all don't have to go through that.
And I paid for multiple courses and all of that stuff. So I'm not saying I want everybody to get their money, but just be careful with that. Because I paid for stuff and be like,
it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth the money.
Yeah.
And then I paid for stuff like RPX and was like, this is worth every penny. Right. So, and even Bridger's joint, like, I was going to pay. It's expensive.
But the way he talking about
funds, somebody asked me about Bridger the other day, and they was like, yo, would you pay for Bridger's course? And I was like, I wouldn't pay for his course because I kind of know the basics, and I can figure, there's a lot of service providers in that space. I was like, but when you pay for his course, you get into the network, and the network is, crazy, that's where you pay for it. That's why you join these collectives and these.
I would highly consider paying for his.
It's like 15 grand.
I would highly consider it.
His black label, the high label thing, where you sit in the
with
him and his dad and all his dad's friends, and
they
almost got me.
I would pay for that.
This close.
I would pay for that. Like if I had 5 more years of experience and I'm ready to start off doing my own thing, I would definitely pay for Bridger to figure out how to do a fund right way.
Yeah, the right way. The right way. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So funds are interesting, man, but that's a conversation for a different.
I'm ready for. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
Funds get crazy though. They get crazy.
I can't wait.
Like homie that bought the Suns.
Got a fund.
No, his brother has a fund. He runs the mortgage company.
He
runs UWM.
Yeah.
Him and his brother, but his brother has a fund.
Yeah. I cannot wait. Speaking about the Suns, did you know I heard a story? So Dan Snyder owns the Redskins.
Did you hear about his embezzlement charges?
Yeah, I did. That wasn't the story I was going to go to. That wasn't the story. Did you know the reason? Do you know the reason how he got the Redskins?
He bought. I've heard this story, but he got them for almost nothing.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah.
So the Cook family
who owned them
before, the actual person who owned the Redskins died. so the team goes down to the children,
Mm-hmm.
but he had no estate planning. None.
How you own an NFL team and don't have estate planning?
No estate planning. So when they pass it down, the children
Probate.
gotta probate. They gotta pay all of that.
On a $500 million.
They don't have the money.
Of course you don't. It's 50%.
So fans come through who has no idea about football. It's like, yo, I
can buy one of the 32 best assets.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna do it because I'm a businessman. And runs the team into the ground. But the story is you hear what he's asking for? Oh, he won $7 billion.
Somebody offered him 5. I think they'll settle around 6.
The Denver went for 4.2, 4.6?
Yeah. Did you hear about homie that sold the Bucks?
The Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, he just sold them. He bought them 7 years ago for $500 million.
Oh,
he just sold them for 3.5.
I would have sold it for more than that.
He bought them for
they just want to chip.
Bro, he bought them right before they drafted Giannis.
Yeah, I probably would have held it until maybe
Giannis would have. I would have held through Giannis's career. Yeah. But 500 to 3.5.
Yo, the appreciation on these teams right now.
No, it's crazy.
Like Golden State.
Oh well, that's Steph. Then my favorite one is.
Did you hear what Andre said?
Yeah. Did you watch Uncle Shaq?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but when he talked about when a person is a star, like take into consideration what they do to the valuation of the franchise.
That's why he said Steph was the greatest. Yeah, because what they did. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But that's true though, because if you look at LeBron, what LeBron does to Cleveland, LA is a little bit different, but Cleveland specifically, yeah. Cleveland, like what he did to their economic footprint when he was there, the city was something crazy. Like even I don't think people talk. I mean, we talk about LeBron as a businessman, but that Blaze Pizza play.
Oh, it was bruh. For y'all who don't know, and LeBron, don't hate me for putting your business out there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn he bought into Blaze for $5 million. Something maybe less than that. I think it was $2 to $5 million, and it wound up being the total valuation of the company is I think
200,
1.7.
Is that billion now?
Yeah, I think so. And then he ended up getting 200 out of that. But KD did the same thing.
Oh, KD's got a good portfolio. Iggy's got a great portfolio.
Yeah. Hove got a great
portfolio. Well, Hove has the best portfolio. Actually, Hove doesn't have the best portfolio. You're not going to believe Nas has the best portfolio.
No, I believe.
You think Hove has the best portfolio?
No. Nas
has the best portfolio.
But Nas went that route before Hove did.
Yeah, but...
And Nas invested in big dogs like Coinbase, Zoom,
Ring.
Yeah. I think Hove only invested in Ring, and he put a
Hove's big play.
His biggest play is the champagne.
Yeah.
Well, his biggest play is Live Nation. You got something bigger than that?
50.
I mean, yeah.
50.
Yeah, but so what's his percentage? Because LVMH.
They bought 50.
Right.
Hove was the seed investor.
So
I don't know what his percentage is, but I just know him and Marcy Ventures were the seed capital to start.
He invested separately from Marcy?
No. Marcy invested.
Okay.
So it's a portfolio.
Yeah.
Did you I just be feeling like the conversation around Black wealth is it's a 2-part thing, right? So one part is it's aspirational, we want to meet the levels of Hove and whatever. But then sometimes it seems like a fairy tale, I can never get there. Yeah. And it's nah, fam. There's actually there's actually a blueprint on how to get here. Yeah. And it takes I fall for it.
But you know why that is, and we talked about this a long time ago. If we look at our lineage of people, we really only are us, you and I, and Tuesday, but you and I are really only 2 generations of the people who were either enslaved or just on the same
in poverty, right? In poverty, yeah. So I think I'm 3 generations. So
our grandparents, our great grandparents was raising our grandparents to just
survive. Yeah,
Yeah.
survive. Yeah.
Our grandparents like, okay, we know how to survive.
Now
We'll raise our children to get
work,
an education
and work,
and live the dream life.
Well, we got duped too. Black people.
We
we got
scammed. We got duped. We got scammed.
Because we missed out on like all those brothers that went to like Vietnam, World War II, or like that New Deal thing.
Yeah.
Like, so we didn't get the GI Bill that
we get
allowed us to buy homes, which
for the low.
And then, but my favorite one about is getting,
and we still overcame, and then they threw the crack era at us.
Well, I would tell you, if I was ever gonna write a thesis statement, it was gonna be called.
Is before you do this, is Big Brother gonna be this something that Big Brother gonna listen to? I ain't trying to end up like Snowfall.
Nah. I call it the rap game, crack game, right? It's just an economic look into the impact that the crack era had on Black America versus the prohibition on white America, right? So like prohibition was in the 20s, but like during that time, like everybody was playing ball. Everybody was providing alcohol, right? Yeah. They used to have a statement that prohibition turned the common man into a criminal, right? But nobody talks about that the Kennedys put their son in the White House with prohibition money.
Right.
Andrew Carnegie has schools and areas named after him. He's one of the biggest bootleggers.
Right.
He was the Secretary of the Treasury. He was in charge of enforcing
that Big Brother.
No, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that when you look at the crack era, right? All that wealth that we made, because it was a lot.
We as in who? The country?
Black people.
We ain't really make no real wealth off of that, man.
What?
Real wealth?
This is what I mean.
You talking about a few BMF?
No, BMF was
Frank Lucas.
No, those guys were. I'm talking about like Freeway. I mean, not even. All right, let's not say super wealth, right? But like, let's just say we earned six figures. There were a bunch of six-figure earners.
Okay.
There were a bunch of millionaires.
Okay.
And the ones that survived became rappers.
Yeah, but
the ones that didn't survive,
right,
went to jail.
So what are you saying?
Where did all the money go?
It got seized.
Oh.
They took it.
But that's what I'm saying. They ain't take that prohibition money.
Nah, they didn't.
That's all I'm saying.
It was a part of the plan, and we getting way off topic, but it was a part of the plan. Throw the crack era at us. Let it be a few Franklin Saints. We're gonna use them to fund the war.
Facts.
When we done, we're gonna clean it all up, take back what we did, and make them worse than where they started from.
I'll do one better. They're gonna destroy this community, and we're gonna come buy this community real cheap,
right,
and redevelop it
and sell it to the white folks.
God, man. But I say all that to say there is a blueprint that we can. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe in systematic. It's gonna sound crazy.
Come on, Kanye.
I don't believe in systematic
oppression,
financial oppression.
You have to. You don't have to, but it's
what
like
I believe.
Real.
What I believe is our economic issues are the fruit, not the root. You get what I'm saying? So our economic issues.
But you got to say on what tree?
I mean, it's still oppression.
All right.
But what I'm talking about is like, all right, like perfect example. People talk about Wells Fargo and that. You remember when that?
Yeah, they don't like black people.
What I tell you, who cares?
Yeah.
Like
that doesn't matter. But when they giving out the free, you talking about when they giving out the free loans or free?
Yeah, but like even BOA, right? BOA was like, oh, no credit score. That is, you should, if you're a borrower, you should want them to check your credit. You should want them to do certain things so you're not taking on bad debt. Because like I said, debt is like fire. But
yeah, but you talking to me like you Hove. It ain't a lot of holes.
No, there's only one.
I'm the rapper who got somebody threw me a 360.
Yeah, but you just read that article when they broke down this 360.
A little bit of it.
Okay.
But I'm still gonna take it.
But that's no different than me. Like, all right. So let's say what I've been telling you, I've been trying to get all year this year. I want to get a wholesale line of credit to lend against, right? That ain't no different than what he got. That's a 360 for me.
Yeah.
So like, I get the line of credit, I can fund deals, I can loan it out, I can all of that, right? That's all Hove did. Except he got the line of credit from.
Okay, but you saying so let's say if you get that, you're the institution, now you go to a small rapper like, yo, I want to put you in a 360. I'm gonna give you $100K, and I want a piece of everything you do.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that on your side.
That's good business.
No, there's nothing wrong with that on your side. But you telling him not to take the deal.
No, I'm telling him to understand that
it's a bad deal.
It's a bad deal.
But still take it.
No, he actually shouldn't take it. He should ask me.
But he's going to take it.
He's going to take it because he's desperate. But he should say, hold on, fam.
He don't know.
What you want for this?
$100 grand? It sounds good. It's $100 grand.
I heard the story Rich the Kid was telling me about QC. You know, he signed to QC, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah.
So, I've heard QCP say, yo, I gave some of these guys $1 million. You know what I had to do to get $1 million? I just gave them $1 million to fund their music.
Right.
So, Rich the Kid is trying to get out of his QC deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I need $800 back. We're going to out of this deal.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. But you took the money.
Yeah.
So you either going to give me something on my back end, as far as pub and whatever, or go at it at yourself. I'm not saying.
So when you talk about somebody for a house, and you saying they take these bad loans.
No, you should never take a bad loan.
But you took it.
No. But
so I'm desperate. I want a house.
You should. It's not time. And that's where the discipline. All right. Do you think? Let me ask you this. You hear about predatory lending all the time.
Yeah.
Who do you think what demographic do you think?
Us.
All right. Then.
Of course.
You know why? Because we are always operating from a space of lack. We're always operating from a space of like trying to prove that we're something else, and we're always trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? So we'll take on bad debt, we'll take on all of these things, and then now we're in a messed up situation, as opposed to being disciplined and just looking at the deal that's in front of you, like, yo, what is this? What am I signing on? What am I?
But you're speaking from an area of someone who's been in this situation, who's been in the profession, who knows.
Yeah, but I didn't go to school for this.
Okay. You talk about a 25-year-old single mom who needs a crib.
You're right. But
or a 28-year-old dude who got a felony and needs somewhere to stay and got his life right. And this is the first opportunity he got. He's been in worse situations.
True.
Or a 48-year-old woman who filed bankruptcy and now she got, she's starting over.
But that's why education is important. That's why it's the most important thing.
I agree with that.
Because it's like we're just out here blindly shopping.
But I think it needs to be a solution more than saying don't take it.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to our production assistant, Tuesday, who's been...
We out here. I'm Finance King.
I'm JFL Lee.
And it's the Bread Aisle. That's pretty cool.
Disclaimer. The information provided on this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial advice. Investing involves risk, and you should always do your own research and seek the advice of a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decision. The speakers do not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or reliability of any information discussed on this podcast. You agree that the speakers will not be liable for any investment decisions made based off the information provided on this podcast.